Hey guys, Tarke here, and we're continuing the SSF Ruthless series, and I've been informed that I need to do something in the Fellshrine runes. So we're going to rune it up. I'm assuming it's something to do with the old Forbidden of the Sanctums. Let's go head over there. It's been a while since the last episode. I've been very, very busy with IRL. So let's do a little recap of what I've been up to. Recently, I've been walking hella doggies, which has been very fun. I've been thoroughly... Ooh, my lighting seems weird, or my shadows or something. Anyway, so that's been fun. I have done hella steps. My average step count for... Why is my frame rate being weird? I feel like my frame rate is being weird. My average frame rate step count for the week was 19.5k. I feel like my frames are definitely being weird. I think the highest I got was 30,000 on one day, so that was pretty good. So I've been enjoying that. It's been fun. I'm actually meeting some new clients tomorrow, so that's all been going very, very well. I've started juicing, not of the fun gym variety. Sorry to disappoint any gym. Whoa, that was a bit of a weird. Any gym bros in the audience. No, what I've been doing, I've always been a massive fan of ginger. And I used to be really good at regularly making ginger tea, but I completely fell out of the hobby. And I managed to pick up a juicer that was on sale with my dog walking pennies, which was nice. So now every day, oh, I hate this mod. Every day, either for lunch or breakfast, depending on what mood I'm in, I've been doing a ginger juice, either like ginger, apples, orange, lemon, or like carrots or whatever. But this is the hack. This is the secret bit. This is the bit that you're waiting for. I collect all the pulp, right? So I blend it because I've not got an expensive. I got like a 20-30 pound blender, really, not a juicer. So I blend it all, and then I strain it to get the juice. But I keep all the pulp, right? And then I use that pulp as a marinade when I'm frying like a little bit of chicken, right? So I collected 2 days worth of pulp. And then today I did a very nice little chicken stir fry. And literally all I used was, ooh, sanctified life flask, very nice. No, never mind, but... literally all I used was chicken breast, dumped all the pulp into the pan, and then added some noodles. And it was tasty. Didn't need any other seasoning, didn't need anything else. Oh, I did also grate a fresh chili on top, actually. But, yeah. It was muy buen, muy buen. Would highly recommend. So I'm looking for maybe I need to go into the thing, but I'm looking for the Forbidden Lady. I can't remember what the Forbidden Lady is called. I know she has glasses on, but we're looking for that lady. Apparently we need to talk to the Forbidden Lady. Forbidden Lady is not in my room. Okay, so we don't want to go here. I'm sure that is a phrase uttered by many a Path of Exile player. The Forbidden Ladies are not in my room. You need to go outside to seek out such nice people. Right, so let's work out where we need to go. So, yeah, I've been doing that. Also, I've been up to. I have been trying to make espresso. So any eagle-eyed watchers, or eagle-eyed listeners rather, might remember that several episodes ago, I recanted how my Christmas present from my mum was a broken espresso machine. And one of you exceptionally kind, exceptionally generous people actually heard that story and bought me a proper espresso machine, which only arrived the other day, and today's been my first day messing around with it. It's a lot of fun. I've actually been really enjoying that. What I have realised, though, is I feel like there was a little room somewhere. Guess we're just gonna like full clear the whole zone. Maybe we have to go in the crypt. We'll do this, then I guess we might full clear the crypt. Yeah, what I've been trying not to do though is just like make 30 espressos a day. So it's like make some, test it. Okay, how did that go? Go again, go again. So I've made 6 espressos today and drank probably 3 because I'm making double shots. But I'm getting better. I'm getting better. I'm getting my ratios right. I've got little kitchen scales. I'm working out my coarseness because there's a whole science to it. There's like you need to have the right coarseness to the whole this. This is a very niche. I need to stop assuming that people are interested in the things that I'm interested in. Do I drink it just black? It depends. My favorite drink. Do I watch James Hoffman? I do. I've watched a lot of the Hoff. Ooh. I don't know if I've actually fought you. My preferred drink is a flat white. A rare wand. Yo. Could be good. Yeah, my preferred drink is a flat white. I will I could do like a single espresso black. A double espresso black would be a bit too much for my little brain. I think I'd be a bit too wired. But one thing I have been doing... I think it might be up here. One thing I have been doing, which I think I've actually drunk a lot more than 3 espressos today. Yeah, this is it. My dud espressos, because I've also been practicing how to froth oat milk, because I don't drink normal milk, I only drink oat milk. I was pouring those in with my milk. So the final coffee that... Actually, yeah, that's a point. I've probably actually had 6 espressos in it. Yeah, actually, no, I think about that, because I was pouring those in. Although, yeah, no. Yeah, okay. Ooh, what's this?
Yes, adventurer. Let's make a deal.
Curse pack's gonna appear. Okay. Alright, that's that done now. That's good. But yeah, so I'm feeling a little bit twitchier than usual. And that might explain it. Alright, so we've done that. Let's see if this one was any good. No. I moved to Portugal this year. All they seem to drink is single shot espresso. I'm struggling to get used to that. I'm trying to think. I have been to Portugal, but not... I was really young. I'm trying to think what about the culture would... I mean, maybe something to do with... maybe like a culture of not having milk or something. Were there a lot of colonies there? Because that's also another thing. A lot of things comes over from colonies. I'm trying to think. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind a black espresso now and again. It's going to be quite nice at the end of a meal. I'm quite a big fan of... And that's actually one thing that maybe I should use my dud shot and keep them to, like, baking or something. And, like, adding them. Because I was going to say, I'm quite a big fan of, like, coffee-based desserts. But then I don't really eat desserts at the moment. I'm actually really happy with where I've gotten my food at. I came to... So, this is one of the good things about not having any money. Is it forces you to be creative. So I had a period of about 3 weeks in December where I literally only had £37 in my bank account, and I was like, right, I need to stretch this out for as long as possible. And it was kind of a blessing because I got into a really interesting food place, and I am going to try and keep that vibe going for as much of this year as I can. So basically what I do at the start of the week is I buy a protein. For me, it's mostly pork because I like pork. And I think it might also be one of the healthiest meats. Beef I really like, but it doesn't sit on my stomach very well. So either pork or chicken. And then I make like one batch of prepared meat at the start of the week that will then last me all the way to like Friday. So I make it on like Monday. I get like... Or if I made it on the Saturday, it doesn't really matter what day I make on. Basically, I get it to like 4 or 5 days. I'm over complicating it. You get anyway. You get what I'm saying. So anyway, so if it was chicken, for example, then I'll salt the chicken. So like if I bought the chicken today, I would salt it and then I would cook it tomorrow. And then I make like a pretty neutral batch, which I can then like mess around with for the remainder of the week. So this week, for example, oh, I've got something stuck in my mouse. Uh-oh, I've got something stuck in my mouse. I can't move my mouse. Oh, I cannot move my mouse. Yeah, okay, there's a massive clump of cat hair in my mouse. Oh, somehow we survived that. Okay. Ooh. Don't know if you can see that lint. That was nearly bad. Did I get a haircut? No. It's all still there. What was I saying? So yeah, so this week, I got some ground pork. And then carrots, because I like carrots, and carrots are cheap. Carrots are very cheap. Also very good for you, carrots. Good for the peepers. Gotta keep your eyes healthy. And mushrooms, because again, I like mushrooms. They're cheap. I don't know how good mushrooms actually are for you, but anyway, I like mushrooms. I feel like they're a good way of like bulking stuff out. And black beans. I saw someone in chat say beans are good for cheap protein. They are. Black beans, hella protein, hella cheap. Get a tin of them. So I kind of made like, I guess you call it like a chili. So I fry that all up. I had half a bottle of wine in the fridge that had been sat there for ages. And it's like dead, stale wine. That's cooking wine now, baby. Let's go. So, chuck that all in a pan, throw in some seasonings, batch that all up. And then from that, I've still got a bunch of it left, actually. I could show you. Oh, this will be exciting. Because you guys have probably never seen what ground meat looks like before, right? Look at that. Yeah? You've never... I need to be very careful not to, like, spill this all over my keyboard, but look at this. Yo. Mmm, tasty. Look at that. Look at that flavour. Mmm. It doesn't look very appetizing. Trust me, that's good stuff. Anyway. So... What was I saying? So yeah, so from that, I can eat it straight, just like a chili. I can have it with pasta. I can have it in wraps. I like that. I like doing wraps with some lettuce, a little bit of oat yogurt, because again, I have normal dairy. Maybe a little bit of cheese. Cheese is the only dairy I have, but I don't go for loads of it. You can have it with rice. You can do it with noodles. You can do like a stir fry sort of thing. Oh, I think I already said pasta. But yeah, basically, I have that. So that's like the one, and like all those ingredients cost me like £4 or £5, and then I get like 4 or 5 days out of it, and then I just add like staples to it. So it's like the wraps, you know, you get like 8 wraps for like £1 or whatever, you know. So that's like a couple of days, and then like, you know, you buy like some rice noodles, you know, it's like £1 or a bag of pasta, and you're not going to use the whole thing, so that's pretty good. And then I do that all the way through. What was I talking about? Yeah, so those are my dinners. Those are my dinners from like Monday to Friday. For lunch, I either do a sandwich or eggs. Again, cheap. If I do sandwich, I do a very grown-up, very exciting sandwich. I really got the craving. I made a joke a couple of streams ago about doing a Kickstarter to make a sandwich, and someone said peanut butter and jam. And I just started thinking about that, so I bought some jam and some peanut butter. So yeah, I might treat myself to a peanut butter and jam sandwich for lunch. Or I might do an egg sandwich, or I might just do hard-boiled eggs, because I quite like hard-boiled eggs. So yeah, that's my lunch. And then for breakfast, this is the real pro hack, right? So who likes cereal? Everyone likes cereal, right? But cereal is really bad for you because it's just shit. And then there are healthy cereals which are like also shit, 'cause they don't taste. You just like eating cardboard. So this is the pro hack, right? You ready? buy like sugary shit or whatever you like. So if you like a granola with fruits and whatever, which is, you think it's healthy, but it's actually just hella fucking sugar. Or if you like fucking Cocoa Pops or whatever rubbish people eat in America, which is just like mushrooms with crack and chocolate, and right? Buy that, but then buy really boring like bran flakes or whatever the most like cardboard equivalent is. Mix them together, right? So you dilute the flavor with and the like flavor stuff is generally expensive, but the health stuff is generally really cheap, right? Pro hacks. And if you want to like get really fancy, maybe add some nuts to it or something. Anyway, so I've been doing that. So I'm stretching out my yum 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 with the that then actually tastes kind of ooh, that was close. Tastes pretty good. And then if I ever get hungry, like, oh, I want a cheeky little snack, have some fruit, right? Or, as I said earlier, I've been doing the juices. And then if you save for anyone who missed that, yes, I make a juice. And then I save the pulp from the juice to then, if I'm doing chicken or if I'm doing pork, I then chuck that in when I'm frying it. Tastes tasty. And then if you're doing that, you don't need to be buying any, like, you don't need any barbecue sauce or, like, sweet chili sauce or anything like that. Because you've got that, all them tasty flavors. And if you ever need a little bit more kick, then you just, you know, you just look at your spice cupboard, chuck some, you know, paprika or some extra pepper or some extra chili or some cumin or whatever in there. Oh, it's good. It's good, good, good. So I'm pogging out. I'm down to 76 kg, which is good. I'm feeling good at this weight. I got up to, I think maybe the heaviest I'd been last year in a long time. I got up to 86. I don't know, I think I might have actually peaked to 87, which for me is, it's fine. Like, it's at the top end if you were to do the BMI bullshit. Even though I know that BMI is kind of rubbish because it doesn't really account for anything. Like, it doesn't account for height, it doesn't account for muscle mass or anything like that. And since people always ask, I'm 6 foot, which I think is like 183 or 184. I'm just over 6 foot if you put it in freedom units. 76 kg. Just banging, just banging. Doing my steps and doing my walk-ins because of the dog vibes and doing the pull-ups again. Yeah, fucking woohoo!
Just need a moment to catch my breath.
Good vibes, good vibes. Not going to play many video games though. Not going to play many video games. So yeah, this is my first sit down at the computer in I think a week. However long it's been since the last upload was the last time I sat at the computer. I think it's been 7 days today. I've been really missing Battle Brothers. I've been really wanting to play Battle Brothers. But yeah. It's the opposite in the US. Anything unhealthy is cheap, healthy is expensive. There's usually, what's like the cheapest healthy thing in America? There's usually always like one thing which is cheap. I mean, at the moment, everything in the UK is just getting more and more and more and more expensive. But also, that's what I was going to say. The thing that I've noticed the most, and so I go through phases of making everything myself. Because I was so broke last month, and I had to just make everything myself. I couldn't buy any like pre-packaged food or anything, or like pre-made food, and it didn't have any of that addictive bullshit in it. It is crazy how much your appetite changes when you're not eating food that's designed to be tasty. Like, I'm not saying the food isn't nice. It's like, we all know that like a pizza is nice, right? Like pizza, but it's literally got like tasty chemicals in it, which makes you hungrier, because it's like, this is the good. I got to ID all the boots. So like that juicy movement speed. Chaos Rose. Nah. Some Chaos Rose would be good though. Do I like buckwheat? My go-to was low on money dollars is putting anything you have left from meat into frying pan, adding some buckwheat, adding some fat, mix it, and go. Sounds pretty good. I think buckwheat. How does that taste compared to just like some like oats? I'm trying to think if I would have eaten much stuff with buckwheat in it. I mean, I'm sure I've eaten things with... Oh, is that the unique one? Oh, no, that was just... I thought I had, like, a crown above it, so that was just the lighting. I'm trying to think... Buckwheat. I can't think of anything that I've eaten specific. I've probably had, like, some flapjacky sort of things with buckwheat. But no, I might need to try that. Bone ring. I should probably save that. I think that's... Yeah. Unlikely to play a minion-y character, but you never know. Could do. Whoa! Yo! I don't have any. I don't have any double cream. Oh no! We could chromatic my chest. There's a pretty good chance. The chest is pretty nice. Yeah, let's do that. There's a pretty good chance on this. It feels bad to be doing chromatics on 2 sockets though, but yeah, that's pretty big. Okay, go on 1. That's good. Oh, that's not bad trap. Big. So big. Oh, that's going to feel so nice for Claire. That's actually going to feel amazing. Oh, thank you, dude. Alright, well, let's call this stuff. Yeah, power overwhelming, exactly. So you do a little bit of healthy eating, you do that little and you get loot. That's how it works, right? But yeah, for the guy earlier on who said that Battle Brothers has ruined all other games, totally agree. I really wish I had a Steam Deck or something, because I can imagine playing Battle Brothers in bed. Because that's the issue that I've been having, is like when I have a really long day, I want to just like, because that's also the other thing. So like I've been doing the dog walks, doing a lot of steps, and also because like I'm saving money, I'm not using many buses or trains. So whenever I have to get a bus somewhere, I'm like, I'll just walk. And it's also, it's quite interesting, like, and also it's, so some of you might remember from one of the last episodes, I said that I've been collecting wood. This is gonna, okay, hang on. Okay, are you ready to be like, dude, what the hell is going on in your country? Okay. So you know how I've got my log stove, right? And I said that when I go walking, I keep bags on me so I can like pick up random bits of wood and stuff. So what I've been doing, it's funny because it's like sad. But what I've been doing is instead of like, if I get cold, right? Instead of putting the heating on, I'm wearing all like thermals by the way. If I get cold, I go out. So I just put loads of coats on, I go for a walk, and I collect firewood. Because, like, if I go out for another hour, that's an hour that I don't need to have the heating. So then I'm like, yes, I'm saving. Oh, I've just saved, like, £2, whatever it is. This country is so fucked. Quick straight. But anyway. What was I saying? So I got walking. Yeah, so when I get home and I'm really tired, and this also comes to the heating thing. So one of the good Christmas presents I got, which I'd highly recommend, was an electric blanket. So I have 2 duvets on my bed, and my bed is there. I sleep next to the stove. So I have one duvet, electric blanket, and the other duvet to like really trap the heat. So it gets really nice and warm and cozy, and it's like, oh, I'm in my nice little cocoon. I don't want to leave my cocoon. So for that, like, yeah, playing Battle Brothers in bed would be war. Whereas if I'm sat here, this is all right, but like, you know, it starts to get a little bit like, oh, it's getting a little bit nippy, you know. But yeah, thermals, long johns. We talked about this strat the other day. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Electric blankets and rays. They're so cheap. That's the good thing, is saving them pennies. Yeah. But yeah, I've been very much in a, like, silver lining mood the last couple of weeks, because we've had, like... So I don't think I've mentioned this. I don't think I've mentioned this before. Yeah, maybe I have. Have I said that I've lost the funding for my Crohn's medication again? I don't think I have. So yeah, Crohn's, boring disease, blah, 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 blah. I have two main treatments. I have pills that I take daily, and then every 8 weeks I have an infusion that knocks out my immune system, because it's an autoimmune disease. You weaken the immune system, the disease doesn't attack your body, good vibes. So the NHS has no money, and the way the NHS works is, yeah, this happened to me last year. It's really annoying. So basically, the way the NHS works is they give you medication, but they can only give it to you on a yearly basis, because they need to convince the accountants. And then what they do is once you've been on it for a year, they go, okay, well, we currently have the disease under control, so you don't need it anymore because you don't have active disease. But it's okay, because once it gets active again, we'll just put you back on it. So what ends up happening is they take you off the meds. After about 6 months, your disease becomes super active again. Your body takes a massive step back. You then get really ill, and they go, oh, look, you need it again, right? It's the equivalent of, like, taking insulin off a diabetic, you know. Not as severe, but similar process of, like, well, this guy's fine. He has the insulin, right? And yeah, it's just where the accounts are. So I had my last infusion on the 17th of December, and when I had that infusion, one of the nurses told me, just so you know, there's nothing on the system for you having another one. So I rang my GP today, and I've been chasing at the hospital, whatever, and blah, 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 blah. My GP's, like, sent a note to my hospital consultant, and hopefully he'll be able to convince them to put me back on it. But I'm expecting to have a break in it. But the one silver lining, and this is, you know, I'm trying to stay on silver linings at the moment, is I've wanted to get my ear pierced for years and years and years. But because I've got an autoimmune disease and I take a while to heal, I just never got around to it. So I'm like, I'd get my earlobe pierced and just, like, infected. It'd be a whole thing. It's just, yeah. So if I do lose my funding, I will celebrate by poking holes in my body. So, nice little silver lining there. Nothing crazy. I'm gonna have a shitty little stud for like 6 to 8 weeks, because you have to have a stud for anything. But I'm just gonna have a little chill little silver hoop. I've wanted to do that for years and years and years, but because I've been on this medication since I was 18, where am I going? Salt life. I'm going for the skill effect duration for the flamethrower. I don't need the flamethrower trap just yet. Well, I might go for a master, actually. Get the flask gen. Yeah, that's good. So I should sort of have pantheons. Yeah. I don't know where I'm going after that, though. What was I saying? Yeah, so because I've been on this medication since I was 18, there's lots of really basic things. It's like I've wanted tattoos and stuff in the past, and I very nearly got some tattoos when I was 20... How old would I have been? Like 25, because I was dating someone who had a shit ton of tattoos, and I was going with her to a lot of tattoo salons, and I was like, ah, fuck it. But I ended up not doing it in the end, because I'm like, no, it just won't heal. But yeah, so... I'm going to be 30 years old and getting my ears pierced. Is it a midlife crisis? Probably. But at least I'm not 40 years old and doing it. But yeah. I need to really commit to the long hair hippie look. Also, one thing that happened which was really funny, it was both depressing and uplifting at the same time. So, as I've been doing loads of this dog walking stuff, I've actually been, like, meeting and interacting with a lot of other dog walkers and people in, like, you know, dog related industries, trainers, groomers, all this and the other. And there was a girl who I was chatting to. She's been doing what I've been doing for a couple of years. She's really successful. And we were chatting through it. She's like, yeah, no, I've been doing this like a year and a half now. It's been going really well for me. Best of luck with you starting out in this industry. At the end of our conversation, she's like, by the way, do you mind if I ask how old you are? And I'm like, oh, I'm 30 next month. And she was like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I'm 30 next month. Why? She's like, oh, I thought we were closer in age. And I was like, why? How old are you? She's like, I'm 21. I'm like, oh, okay. So, you know, it's always nice when people younger than you are more successful than you. So on the one hand, I'm kind of like, I'm getting like the business advice from a 21-year-old. That's depressing. On the other hand, I'm like, at least I passed it for 21, you know. So moisturizing, that's working. I can pass as a, what was it, Gen Z? I'm hit TikTok, Little Nas X. What else are cool kids into? I don't really know what the cool kids are into, but yeah, you know. So that was kind of like a depressing, uplifting thing at the same time, you know. Roblox. Yeah, maybe. If I see her again, I have to ask if she's into Roblox. But yeah, that was kind of just like, cool. Alright, see if it's any good. Oh, it could have been nice. Well, I mean, it's resistances. It feels so weird not having pantheons. Have I got a tissue? I need to blow my nose. It's a little bit snotty. No, okay. What if I have a bit of a dripping nose? Ugh. Chilly vibes. Oh. So, yeah, at least we can cling on to our youth. Apologies for all the like 70-year-olds watching this. According to my YouTube analytics, I have more people who watch my content over the age of 60 than I do under the age of 20, which I think is pretty cool. I need to keep the superior stuff for recipe. Yeah, I do that. I'm gonna pick up just white items.
Keep your life to your own.
Old soul vibes. I think it's just because my content's really fucking boring. I think it's just like really, really boring and really slow. So, you know, like all those 6-year-old PoE players. PoE as a game leans really old. It makes sense because it's like ARPGs generally are kind of like an older thing. It's like the mindset, it's inspiration from like Diablo 2 and all that stuff. It does lean that way. I think it's the same with like MMOs. There's a lot of like nostalgia for like the 90s, early 2000s vibes. Zuma's on to finding out whether it's raining or not. Shake my head. Yeah. I saw Becht posting a raining video on Twitter. Bone chill. Whoa, are we just like getting support gems? Bone chill. Oh, dude, give me a Skitterbots. Oh, fuck, I should have been loving an ice trap. I could have gotten a 4 link. Wait, no, could I? I could have gotten a 3 link. I can't believe we've got multi-trap. That's so big. Beams over stop saying Asheron's cool. I never played that. I used to hear about it all the time through Rectal stream. It sounded pretty cool. I watched a couple of videos of it. Trying to think what's like the most OG game that I played that I was like into. Yeah, that's a point. What's the most boomer game that you guys were like properly obsessed with? Do board games count? When did Settlers of Catan come out? Because that's good. That is a good vibe. I need to Google this. When did Settlers of Catan come out? 1990. Oh, I thought it was older than that. First published in Germany in 1995. That's a good game. Settlers Catan, check it out. I like me a board game. I need. You played a lot of Ultima, yeah. I need to find like a board game group. Stib Night, let's go. This was quite funny actually. So I'm assuming they have this in other countries. But it's quite a big thing in the UK. It's called Nextdoor. It's kind of like Facebook, but for, like your neighborhood. And I saw people recommending like a board game group. And I'm like, yo, I think I might join this. And then I was reading the details, and it sounded really cool. They were like listing all the games and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And took about the hours. Like, all right. And then right at the bottom, after like 5 paragraphs, it was like perfect for after-school kids aged 11 to 15. I'm like, oh no, oh okay, now I'm good. But I was like, yo, this sounds sick, and I'm like, oh, never mind. Do you still play Battle Brothers? I want to, I just don't have the time. I just don't have the time to sit at the computer. Yeah. I know that I definitely can't be going to that with this fucking mustache. Let's just put it that way. It's not a good look. No. Yeah. Nice MTX. Yeah, I like the glasses. Yeah, I was just like, oh, I'm good. I'm not gonna blur it. And the bone chill's pretty big.
Good to see. Be well.
Need a beard? No, I like the mustache look. I dig it. I dig it. Especially with the like the long hair and everything. It's a very like 70s look. I've had a couple of people, so especially I've got a couple of like old shirts, with like what do you call it? Chevron? Is it the diamonds patterns? Is it chevrons? Chevron shirt. Do you know the like repeating diamonds? What do you call? It's not what's that called? Anyway, I've got a couple of shirts and it's like people are like, dude, fractal. No, there's a word for it, but I don't know. And it just like, you know, like repeating diamond shapes. This is very like, you know, and I quite like corduroy. You can see the picture, you know. Yeah. And I like burnt orange. It's very much like a thing. What's the reason for the dog? I feel like my frame rate is definitely being a bit clunky. I don't know what's causing it. It's my MTX. Do you like it? A 1 of 1. Argyle. I feel like Argyle sweaters. Argyle pattern. Argyle chevron. Yeah. Yeah, that sort of vibe. I've got a couple of shirts like that. Yeah, that's a good descriptor. Yeah, I've got an orange Argyle chevron shirt that I sometimes wear with like green cords. Kind of Scooby-Doo-ish, actually. Wait, was Shaggy green shirt, brown trousers? But anyway, so yeah, no, it's definitely like I'm leading into a vibe. I find generally, and I've always kind of had this mindset, headspace. I've always had this opinion that generally, as long as you're happy, then you're happy, right? But magic item back there, yeah, it wasn't anything special. If you lean into a look, and as long as you're happy, but if you lean into a look and it's a thing, and you're like, I vibe this, then you tend to do fairly well. I feel like it's like, again, there's going overboard with it, and it's like, for example, you don't want to be the guy, like, okay, do we have any office workers in the chat? Like, you know, the guys who, like, their entire personality is they wear, like, wacky ties, or, like, I'm trying to think, I've known a few wacky tie guys. Also, there's the people who always wear suits, regardless of the occasion. It's like they wear a suit to the gym, and it's like, that's their thing. I mean, if it's your thing and it makes you happy, it makes you happy, like, you know, fair enough. But, like, you know, if you've just got, like, a vibe, and it's like, that's your, you know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But you tend to, I feel like you tend to do quite well. You know, you make a bit more of an impression. Don't be weird with it, you know. Definitely tend to do better when dating, I find. Like, you limit your potential pool. But then, like, the people that you appeal to, you really appeal to. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Just need a moment to catch
Speaking of, that reminds me. There's a kid that I'm slightly worried about that I keep seeing when I'm doing my dog walks. And I'm really hoping that there's, like, some historical, like, reenactment thing in my area that I'm not aware of. But I've seen this. He must be, like... I mean, this is the UK, so it's not like he's got a gun. But he must be, like, maybe 15, 16 at the eldest. And I'm not saying that I see him walking around wearing certain World War II uniforms. But, like, he looks like someone wearing not the good guys' World War II uniforms. And it's a bit weird. And I've seen him doing it on, like, multiple days throughout the space of about 2 weeks. So it wasn't like a one-off kind of like, oh, there's like a play on. I mean, there could be he could be like rehearsing for a play. But, yeah, it's like knee-high black boots, really long trench coat, with like medals and stuff, with certain thunderbolts on them. And, hey, I don't know what you call those hats. But, you know, like the flat, like, pointed front hat. Very much looks like something out of Warhammer. I don't know what you call those hats. And it's like, my guy, like, what are you doing? Like, why are we doing this? I think we need to phase this, yeah. Again, the UK, so it's not like he's going to go do anything crazy. But even so, it's a bit like, it's a bit, I don't like this. Yeah. He might just maybe be like really into Warhammer. But, yeah, it's a bit... I don't even know what you do in that scenario. You can't... Like, you can't walk up to, like, a random 15-year-old and be like, why are you wearing that? Because you just can't. But, like, at the same time, why are you doing that, dude? Like, don't do that. So as I was saying, like, you know, pick a vibe and lean into it. But don't go for that vibe, because that's not a good... It's not a good vibe. It's not a good vibe. No.
Just need a moment.
Again, hopefully there's some sort of like military reenactment thing in the area that I'm not aware of. But yeah. There was definitely like a double take moment. It's like, you know, when you see something and you're like, take the cool outfit approach. Oh, be like, oh, that dude, cool jacket. Where did you get that? Yeah. Ooh, rogue exiles. Oh, these give loot. Yo, chromatic item. Might I do the quiver? Yeah. I don't know if it's weirder. I don't think if it's weirder that the guy's like 15. Like, if I would find that weird if it was like a grown man doing it. I think it's creepier that it's a teenager than it is like a 40 or 50-year-old. I feel like the 40 or 50-year-old would be more likely to actually. I don't know. I think which was weirder. Because the thing which I find weird about it as well, because like this was like my thought process. So, and you guys might agree. So there were I had two immediate thoughts. My first thought, my first map, big. My first thought was, the hell is this guy doing? I wonder why he's doing that. And then the second thought was, how did he afford that? Like, is this a thing where, like, he saved up, like, his pocket money or something? Or has he, like, asked his parents to be like, hey, can you buy me this? And also, like... Uh-oh. Being contacted. No, nothing important. Where do I want to go now? Hugo Boss isn't cheap. It's certainly not. Oh, I need spell suppression. Let's get some spell suppression stuff here. The guys who tuned in late, we're talking about, there's a teenager in my neighborhood who I've seen on multiple occasions now wearing what looks a lot like a, should we say, European World War II uniform, or very close to, with certain ties to Hugo Boss. I'm picking my words carefully because I will be uploading this onto YouTube, which I would like to not be demonetized. And I'm trying to work out what's going on. And one, it was like, what is this guy doing? And two, how did you afford this? Right. So yeah, is this a situation where, like, you've been like, Mum, Dad, Christmas is coming up, I really want, you know, or is this a, I've saved up my money, I'm ordering it myself online? Because I feel like in either situation, either the parent has bought them the thing, or the parent is seeing their kid and be like, yeah, I'm not going to ask any questions about that. Yeah. Go for it, dude. You know. And I realise, perhaps the dude's in the play school. See, this is what I was thinking, right? I thought maybe it's like a play. But then I'm like, it's been happening too often, and also this is what I was thinking. So it started happening sort of like just after Christmas. It's been maybe about 10 days. I don't see him every day, right? But it's like every couple of days. I've seen him probably somewhere around the region of like 5 times. You wouldn't have a like if you were gonna have a play at school or something, it would be before Christmas. Shield Crush, dude, we're getting so many gems today. You wouldn't have it after Christmas. That doesn't make sense. So it started happening after Christmas and then into the new year. It doesn't make, like, you might be doing something for Easter, but that's a way away. And I can't think of, like, what sort of Easter nativity play. Like, the timings just don't quite line out. And I feel like you don't need to wear the hat. Like, if I was doing a play where I had to wear a uniform of slightly dubious nature, I probably, like, wouldn't wear the hat out and about. Maybe not, maybe wear a different jacket, you know.
Just need a moment to catch my breath.
And I realise it's... Ooh, I'm getting one quiver there. I realise, like, the whole thing of, like, yo, that's pretty good. The whole thing of, like, parents trying to police what their kids wear, like, it doesn't go very well if a parent's like, yo, don't wear that, and you're just going to wear it even more. Like, I remember being a teenager. I've been there. He's just texting me. Let me just write this. And exactly, you don't always do it in costume as well, right? We have costume rehearsals. You know, give him too much credit. What's like a duck? Cuts like a duck. It's a duck. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, a little bit. Ooh, we get a ring here, don't we? Oh. I mean, that's better than... even before I need that, like, 9 strengths or something.
Tell me something.
So I'd imagine if you military outfit's cool. Also in Japan, the faction outfit's not as cool. Maybe isn't influenced by anime. Well, it's not... Yeah, it's not hard. Sorry, exactly. Yeah, because it's the whole thing of, like, you know... As I was saying, like, if you're into, like, Warhammer, there's a lot of crossover. Actually, listen, do we have any, like, big Warhammer heads in the chat? Like, I used to be into Warhammer quite a lot when I was a kid. Did painting the minis and everything. I had to stop because it was too expensive.
Be well.
But yeah, I can totally see, like, how there's obviously a lot of iconography that crosses over in that sense. Yo, dude, hope you're doing well. But yeah, I feel like, you know, you could have picked...
There you go.
You could have picked on which didn't have, you know,
Don't do anything
the SS symbols and stuff on it. You know?
How you doing?
Right, does that mess me
Stay out
up?
of the shadows.
No. Yeah, we got multi-trap earlier, which was huge. Let's look at my resist. Do I need that cold res? We should take the better life, get also the better evasion ES. I'm not really using the bear trap much at the moment, so let's move back there. Let's just move that there for now. Cool. But yeah, that was a rather, it was a rather odd... I'm trying to think what other odd things have happened recently that you guys may or may not enjoy. There was quite an interesting YouTube comment on the last stream. So in the last stream we had a conversation about dog breeds, because we were talking about the fact that I was doing some dog walking stuff. And I was saying that I think there would be benefits having more regulation in the UK anyway when it comes to owning larger dog breeds. And there's an amazing YouTube chain, an amazing chain which I highly recommend you guys going into, and I can't repeat it because of certain words which will definitely get this demonetized, but go back, check out that, it's beautiful. It's like the perfect 3-part story. It was immaculate, but it reminded me, because I did see something which exactly proved my point. So, you know, all dogs potential to be great dogs. Obviously, like a really big dog's got potential to be way more dangerous than a little itty bitty dog. You know, alchemy. Woo! And there's a woman who goes to the dog park near me. She's got a little chihuahua that she always keeps on the lead. And there's another woman with a German Shepherd that is never on the lead. Now, fortunately, nothing bad happened, but you can probably guess where this story is going, right? So, Chihuahua owner, you know, just walking around, little Chihuahua doing Chihuahua things on the end of the lead. If anyone doesn't know what Chihuahua looks like, imagine a rat, but smaller. And then German Shepherd is just running around being a big German Shepherd. And this dog clocks the Chihuahua from the other side of the park. And just beeline straight for this little rat creature.
Just need a moment.
German Shepherd owner, couldn't care less. On the phone, not paying any attention. Chihuahua owner, freaking out. Right. You have a... Yes, my MTX. Now, I will say that there was a very easy way of de-escalating the situation that the Chihuahua owner could have done. That, for whatever reason, she chose not to do. Probably because she was panicking. So, before I completely describe what happens, I want you guys to guess what you would do. So, if you have a very small dog on the end of your lead, and you see a really massive dog running for your little dog, what would you do? Right? You've got a little tiny dog on a short lead. It's like a 5-foot lead. Massive, great big dog. It's coming to get your dog. What do you do? You'd pick up the dog. Okay, so we have some intellectuals in the chat. What the Chihuahua owner tried to do was run with her little Chihuahua on the lead, which I think only made the German Shepherd more excited. So yeah. So when she must be afraid of big dog, possibly, yeah. So when she started running, obviously that didn't stop what the German Shepherd was. German Shepherd was like, "Yo, this is a prey. Let's go." Oh, Red Boots. Yo, Red Boots has movement speed and resistances. Oh, dude, this is. It is a lot of. Okay, we need to think about that. So the German Shepherd is like, this is a fun game. Let's go. So she realizes that running is the wrong thing to do. So she then stops running and she then just starts like going in circles like this to try and keep her Chihuahua away. And she just wouldn't pick the dog up for whatever reason, right? And the German Shepherd's like, is lunging and jumping and it's playing, right? Obviously, but because of the size difference alone, the German Shepherd could very easily injure the Chihuahua. German Shepherd owner still, like, isn't doing anything. So, I have 3 dogs with me, right? So I put my dogs on the lead. And I start going towards him. So I'm like, alright, I'm going to break this up if this, like, you know, if this doesn't go anywhere. Fortunately, by the time, because this person was probably about, how far away? So this is a flat, like, park with just, like, grass. So there's no hill. So there's, like, there's clear sight lines everywhere, right? So I could see this all happening. So as soon as I see this happening, I put mine on the lead, and I'm like, right, I'm going to walk towards the situation. Probably... I'm trying not to exaggerate. Maybe like half a football pitch, maybe a football pitch distance. So it's like, it's not super far away, but it's not super close, right? Does that, you're going, it's like a playground distance, right? Fortunately, by the time I get there, the German Shepherd owner realizes, and then just calls the dog, and the dog just instantly, unfortunately the dog had amazing recall, instantly just turns around and just pats off, happy as can be. And the Chihuahua owner's freaking out, but she's okay, her dog's okay, and everything's alright. And I didn't want to say to her what she was going to say, like, why didn't you just pick up your dog? But, like, just pick up the dog, right? I would have just picked up the dog, personally. And I can understand that, you know, in some situations it could be considered bad, especially from like a behavioral point of view. But I feel like in that scenario, I would have just picked up the dog. Just picked it up. Especially when it's that small. Just pick it up. Did I get Ghost Lance? Yeah, I did. Cool. Need to be getting more ES. Might go towards melding. Just pick up the dog, dude. Not sure if I've had much more interesting things happen to me. I don't live a particularly exciting life. I think I might have actually exhausted all my good stories. Do I have any other good stories? I mean, fortunately, we've been streaming for an hour. I tend to do like 90-minute long episodes, so you know that's good. It's good, you know. I suppose I could talk about the video game for like 2 minutes. So, about to get some skill points. Those skill points are going to get some spell suppression. Have I got evasion on my pieces? I do. Yes. Have you considered learning how to forage for food to squeeze more out of your firewood hunt? So, there's a guy called Atomic Shrimp on YouTube who's probably my favorite YouTuber. He basically makes content about everything. So there's stuff from like cooking to foraging to like whittling. He made some clay pots recently. He also does some scam baiting stuff. But he also quite regularly does stuff about foraging. And the problem that I have with foraging, with where I live in the UK, and the places that I collect wood from, the kinds of foraging I could do would be for mushrooms. And foraging mushrooms, if you are 100% certain of what you are doing, can be a good thing to do. However, if you're not 100% certain of what you are doing, it's very much not a good thing to do. It's very much a way to have a very bad time. So yeah. I've read up quite a lot about different plants. I find the idea very interesting. It's something I would very much enjoy. I used to very regularly as a child, like, go picking for, like, blackberries and stuff like that. Picking blackberries, picking raspberries. Yeah, 100%, you know what you're getting. But, you know,
Just need a moment to catch my breath.
I'd rather not be, like, poisoning myself. And again, especially since I am... Maybe when I come off my immune suppressants, maybe then I'll be a little bit more like, let's start picking random leaves and see what they do. But like when you've got a compromised immune system, it's best to kind of play it safe. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, it's just not. Yeah, but it's something that I would totally enjoy. I would really enjoy living in the countryside. A lot of people are surprised by this. So, my grandmother had a house. Or she still has. I haven't been there in... going on 13 years now. I think I was 18 when I last went there. No. So 12 years, yeah, because I'm turning 30 in a month. So yeah, I haven't been there about 12 years. But she has a house which is halfway up a mountain in Spain with no running water, no electricity. And I used to spend about a third to half of the year out there every year from the age of about 2 till like 18. And that was very much a messing around, making slingshots, collecting firewood, and all that stuff. So I actually really enjoy that, like, simple living, countryside vibes. I mean, this isn't country. This is, like, you were just, like, completely removed from everything vibes. This is we collect rainwater in buckets so we can flush the toilet vibes, right? But I do really enjoy that lifestyle. So I would be very happy just like randomly being dumped in like a little like Murder She Wrote village sort of sitch. So yeah, if I was in one of those scenarios and like I was really familiar with the local fauna and flora, then yeah, foraging, let's go. But picking up random mushrooms, no, I'm not good. I thought you was the dead. No, I'm not the dead yet.
There you go.
I think I enjoy plumbing too much. Yeah, I suppose as a plumber you wouldn't get much business being that removed. That was a funny joke. That was a funny joke, that. You would be surprised by how quickly you kind of like adapt to stuff like that. And again, I think it's because I'd been doing it from such a young age that it was pretty normal to me. Although I did used to really enjoy coming back to like running water and light switches, because it was a thing of we used to have to use candles for light, and I was really into reading as a kid, so I had lots of like reading, really cozy vibes. You know, reading by candlelight, super cozy, love that stuff. It's probably why I enjoy having the log saves. I mean, definitely the whole like collecting wood, like 100%. And I've said this story before. I used to date a Norwegian girl and spent some time hanging out in like cabins up in the mountains. So I really enjoy like cutting wood, all that stuff. Super menial, super basic. I find it very like therapeutic. I really enjoy that whole like vibe. It's very satisfying. It's the whole thing about like how earlier on I was saying like I've been practicing like making espresso and stuff. So I've made some really shit espressos today. But when you make something yourself, it's like it's extra satisfying because you're like, yeah, I did this, you know. Off the top of your head, what class for Poison Frostblader to boss with? I don't know. Assassin or Pathfinder? Probably Assassin. I don't think I'd do Frostblades. I don't know. Maybe that's a thing. But yeah. Yeah, plumbing, but IBS. So, well, yeah. So as you say, I was diagnosed with Crohn's when I was 18. Haven't been to that house since I was 18. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think I could go back to being that remote. But yeah, maybe living in like a small... There's a lot of like weird like country village sort of places in the UK. The problem is a lot of these places like really fucking racist. And that's also the issue I have. So because I spent like half my childhood in something that removed, and then also half my childhood and now all of my adult life living in London, I'm used to like a very particular metropolitan vibe. I used to date a girl who lived in Ireland, and I used to have like quite a lot of culture shock going over there. And it wasn't like she was in the middle of the sticks. She wasn't that far from Dublin. Meath, for anyone who knows that part of the world. And also it's that whole thing of there's something very weird about village mentality of people who were like born and raised on a street and they never left. Like if that's you like in a city, then it's kind of fine because like there's so much going on. But like some village places, like you have like 5 generations who've never left this village. And it's like it's so like ingrained into like their headspace and their everything. That is quite difficult for someone who's like grown up in cities their whole life. So yeah, I think that's probably the thing that I would struggle the most with. It can be nice. There are some nice aspects of community, but at the same time, you also just tend to get like loads of curtain twitches and loads of little bullshit and lots of gossiping. And quite a closed-minded sort of, you know. Again, I'm generalizing, but you know, it's just from my experience. Still nice to foreigners on, right? Some of the loveliest people I've ever met were from there. But also, I'm British and have a very British accent. So, well, more specifically, I'm English. So I also got some beef. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. So yeah, I think these days I'd probably do much better living kind of like on the outskirts of a city. Or being somewhere which is like commutable. So there's quite a lot of South England specifically. You have a lot of like village and also a lot of seaside towns which are like maybe an hour away from London on the train. And you get people who like commute into work during the week. So those sort of places I quite like. From a vibe point of view, because it's kind of, they have that sort of middle ground mix. It's like there's a lot of places near Brighton. Also, a lot of those places tend to be like university and like student cities. Where if you're somewhere kind of like that, then that's kind of cool. Then you kind of go up the Midlands, which is a bit different, and then you've got like places like Manchester and Bristol. And how much does that commuter train cost? You'd get like season passes and stuff like that. Commuting an hour twice every day, that was a lot. I mean, it's what some people have to do. It's also the issue that like a lot of people just can't afford to live in London. So like what a lot of people do is, yeah, they'll either like drive in, or maybe they might have a situation where like they stay in a house share during the week, or obviously because a lot of people do work from home stuff now, it might be a situation of like they live sort of outside the city and do most of their work from home, but then they have to drive into the office like 2 or 3 times a week, you know. I like medium. Yeah, so it's like at the moment, I'm not in like London proper. I'm sort of slightly removed from it. But like most of London is kind of like suburbs and stuff like that. Unless you're like bang in the center, which no one can afford to live there unless they've got crazy money. If you're kind of like on the outskirts of it, then you're very close to everything. You're just like 1 or 2 stops away on the train. But then you've kind of got a little bit of this sort of,
See you.
I don't know. You've still got the hustle. Oh, that was also another thing I couldn't stand in Dublin, and it took me a while to get used to it. So even in Dublin, which is a busy city, people walk really slowly. Like everyone in London is pacing. Everyone's like on a crazy, like anyone who lives in somewhere like New York or anything, everyone is like, we are going. And I was getting really annoyed with people in Dublin. It took me a couple of days to realize what it was, but I'm like, I don't feel comfortable. I can't work out why. And it was because everyone's just so fucking slow. And I'm like, why are people moving so slowly? And it's one thing if you're like, you know, you're on a nice country path, or you're in the middle of nowhere, then fair enough. But if you're on a busy pavement, come on, let's hustle, let's move, you know. I was getting so like, it was so weird to me. It's just a culture thing. Oh, 100%. 100%. I really like Edinburgh. Edinburgh's a really cool city. It's in Scotland. And one thing I found, it's funny the things that you do and don't get used to. One thing I found very weird about Edinburgh is I was there for quite a while, and I never saw an animal. Like, I didn't see any, like, stray cats or anything like that. Didn't see any foxes, and that weirded me out. Like, London, you can't, like, you're tripping over foxes. You blink, and it's like 50 foxes are there, and there's, like, a squirrel eating a Greggs sausage roll, right? And I'm like, where are all the animals? Like, there's no fucking animals here. Oh, right about. I mean, it's better. What do the foxes eat in London? Rubbish. They just forage in all the bins. And then occasionally people's pets. I've had a cat killed by foxes. Had a rabbit killed by foxes. So they're like raccoons? Yeah, basically. I'm surprised that we don't have raccoons in the UK. Chromatic. Because I feel like it's the sort of thing that people would have brought over. Because we have a lot of, like, we have a massive parakeet problem. So there's loads of parakeets in London that are either, like, people's old pets, or they've escaped from zoos. And because there's nothing that eats them, they eat all the other smaller birds. But I feel like raccoons would be quite a good invasive species. Like, we have the same issues with the grey squirrel. Like, it's very, very, very rare you'll ever see a red squirrel in the UK. Because the fucking grey squirrels came over and just killed all the fucking red squirrels. And now there are black squirrels, which are like a weird mix, who are just like super aggro. And they just fuck up everything. But yeah, I feel like... Where do raccoons come from originally? Do they eat anything? Hang on. Where did raccoons come from? They probably originated in Europe. After crossing over to the Americas, their ancestors settled in the tropics around Central South America. Once modern raccoons evolved, they started back north. See, I feel, yeah. How did raccoons... Wait, we do have raccoons in the UK? No. Really? Oh no, this is raccoons would thrive in the UK, but they haven't yet. No. Yeah, especially London, Brighton, Liverpool. Yeah. I feel like raccoons would do amazing in the UK. Okay, this is it. I can show you this. This is like a raccoon map. So you can see, like, this is where they are in, like, mainland Europe. Because, again, because we're removed from sea, someone would have to, like, actually bring them over on boats. And I suppose, yeah, if people don't want them as pets, then they're not gonna. Yeah. Yeah. But I feel like raccoons would do well. I feel like they would do well. Skunks? Do we have skunks? I know we got badgers. Badgers, now they'll mess you up. Could a badger be... Yeah, dude. Badgers... There are a few things I would put money on over a badger. Like, if we're talking about small... Like, let's not be silly and be like, oh, polar bear, right? Badgers are vicious. Like, I don't think people realise just how nasty badgers are. Badgers will fuck you up. Yeah. They will, like... They will just win. Trying to think what would take on a badger. Polar bear actually loses to a badger. And if we're talking like a wolverine or something. But yeah, those are like, whew. I don't know what would take a badger. I know that dachshunds, which literally mean badger hounds, they were used for hunting. That was more just like getting in the burrows. But I don't think they would really like 1v1 them. I don't want to go from here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Do badgers eat meat? Yeah. If I go across this way, I can cut a point here. Let's do that. Badgers, but like tanks, they have like 1 int 20 constitution. Yeah. Badgers only have a few natural predators, so they're highly aggressive animals. Other predators include coyotes, bobcats, golden eagles, and bears. Cougars hunt them the most. Yeah. Yeah. See, and the thing is that because badgers live in burrows as well, you know, it's pretty good bird protection. And they mostly live in heavily woodland. In the UK, anyway. We probably have some, like, hawks or something. Maybe, like, a red kite could take out a bat. But again, I feel like they wouldn't be in the open enough. Yeah, in the UK, I don't know what natural predators they would have. It's probably, like, some kind of, like, hawk or something. Maybe when we used to have wolves, but we don't really have wolves. I don't know if we had any native bears. I think bears... I might be making this up. I don't think bears were native to the UK. I think we got those from Europe. I know we had wolves at one point, though. Hang on, let's look this up. Were bears native to UK? The brown bear were once widespread across Britain, found in the wild from Devon and southern England to Sutherland and northern Scotland. However, by the end of the last ice age, populations dwindled and became rare. So yeah, so it's not really. Yeah, it was calculated there were over 13,000 bears in Britain 7,000 years ago. So yeah, the ice age took them all out. So yeah. Obviously, they were brought over from mainland Europe. Because it would be a big thing. Like, obviously, eventually zoos and stuff were, like, fighting animals and this whole thing. But yeah, we had wolves, we had hounds, which, well, they came from the wolves. Did we have wildcats? Not big ones. Boars, yeah. That's another animal. I wouldn't mess with a boar. I'm sure, I can't really think of somewhere where a boar would mess with a badger. Yeah, boars are an animal I would not mess with. I would rather fight a badger than a boar. So I'm a big fan of spears. I think spears are sick. And a reason why boar spears have those massive guards on the top of the, is when a boar charges you, like, they will charge up the entire spear and take you out. There are a lot of people who got gorged by boars on the end of their spears. So that was to stop the boar from being like, I'm going to keep coming. Yeah, you can run from a badger. You can't run from a boar. Boars are just angry muscle. Angry muscle. I wouldn't, yeah. I remember there's a thing that people talk about quite often. Like, there was that ages ago. There was, like a census in America of people being asked like what animals they think they could take. A boar would take me every day. 1v1, boar wins. Badger, I wouldn't enjoy that. I think the badger would do, like, I feel like the badger would mess me up, but I think I could take it out. A boar wins. And this isn't like, oh, I've got like a knife, or I've got like, no, just like like an unarmed like 1v1, right? None of this like, oh, just get it with my AK-40. No. The boar wins, right? The boar wins. Okay, chat. What is the biggest animal you think you could realistically take unarmed that's native to your country? My brother went paint coloring. They still carry 3 separate guns in case. Here's that one. Alligator? Fuck off. Right, go on. What's your strategy for the alligator? You're gonna jump on top of it? You're gonna a goose? Ooh, I don't know, man. Geese are pretty nasty. Anything larger than a dog is a no. It depends on the dog breed. A lot of dog breeds, especially like any dog breed with like folds. But I suppose we don't really do much like puncturing. But yeah, a lot of dogs, if they get you on the ground, you're kind of messed. Because the only thing you could really try and do is like just try and get their neck. Yeah, depending on like the muscular, like depending on the build of the dog. Like if it gets you, like if it pounces on you and it gets you to the floor, you're done. Humans are actually one of the worst unequipped animals. 100%. 100%. I mean, the reason we did so well was because of our brains and tools, and aim to break the alligator's jaw, it has no weapons. Its tail. The tail will beat you up. They don't need the jaw. Dogs and earth walls and they're still scary? 100%. 100%. I use my superior brain to stupefy the ball with philosophical ramifications. I can kill mosquitoes all day. And so now I can break its neck. Giraffe's next to big, so I would say giraffe. So, no. The better thing to do with that would actually be the leg. I don't know how similar their legs are to horses. But, like, horses... I mean, that's more so because of how we bred them. But, like, a horse with a broken leg is done. Horses are scary. Like, a horse will mess you up. But if you can get its neck... not its neck. If you can get its leg, then you win. Yeah, giraffes smack each other with their necks. Like, yeah, like clubs, you know. Yeah, I wouldn't want to take a giraffe. But I feel like if you have to, going for the leg. Because also, how are you getting to their neck? You know. Because the neck is slightly taller than you. Are you going to be like, mate, I just need to get on this step ladder. I need to find a hill. I need to, like, jump out of a tree. I feel like a lot of people, like, seriously overestimate what they would actually, like what would you actually do in this scenario? Like talk me through your game plan. Like, what do you actually, like, what do you actually do? Anything heavier than you is going to be, yeah. I mean, it's the whole thing as well. It's like, people seriously overestimate their own ability to, like, get in a fight. Like, I know that I have never done any martial arts, right? And the only thing that I have going for me is I'm tall, right? So if I've got more reach and I've got more mass, that's it. But it's like, it's like if you took someone who's really out of shape but has like 20 kg on you, they'll probably fuck you up just because they've got more mass. I thought I heard from a YouTube video that giraffes could slice lions with a kick. Yeah, I could see that. I've done lots of martial arts, so I mean that's the whole thing. Is like, you know, I feel like the more training you've got, the more you're like, yeah, I'm good. Because all it takes is you to fall over funny, and you're like, oh, there you go. I've got a friend who was really into kickboxing, and he got in a fight and like fucked his wrist, and it's like, all right, good job, mate. Wait, what have you proven? You've broken your wrist, so now you're shit in the sport that you used to take really seriously, you know. Good job. I do agree we wouldn't really have any chance when it comes to unarmed combat, so I invented tools and weapons, having perimeters are a big one. Okay. Oh, 100%, 100%, 100%. Use a carrot to bring the neck down to you. Poll and was, yeah, a lot of people thought they could take on a bear, and I don't know what the thought process is. I guess maybe if they interpreted it as like they feel like they could scare it off, in which case, sure, if you could like intimidate the animal into fleeing, right? But if they don't flee, like, what do you actually do? Their hide is so thick. They're so large, you can't, like, grab onto anything. Like, it's not like you're gonna grapple. Right? And if you do grapple, like, what do you achieve? It's like, haha, I now have your arm, which can shred me. I don't think it's come out yet. But, I would say the movie that I'm most excited for at the moment is Cocaine Bear. I don't know if it's Cocaine Bear or Coke Bear. But it's based on a true story. Obviously, it's been hyped up a bit. I would play you the trailer, but I'd get, like, blacklisted. Look it up. And it's based off a true story that happened in America I can't remember if it was America or Canada. This was a couple of years ago. A plane that was trafficking coke went down in the woods, and a grizzly ate all the coke. And as you can imagine, a coked out grizzly is a bit of a nuisance. And yeah, someone took that news story and it just turned it into like a silly film where the mafia are trying to get their cocaine off this bear, while this bear is just like being a grizzly bear who's coked the fuck out. Peak cinema. Probably my most anticipated film. Yeah. Actually, I haven't been back to the cinema since COVID. And I used to enjoy going to the cinema. I used to want to see if you used to go to cinema every single week. But obviously haven't been. I haven't gone back. I think that might be the film that gets me back into the big screen. It looks great. Yeah. I feel like that's something which has to be seen on the big screen to be enjoyed. Gonna go at 10 AM on a weekday. Oh, weekend. Oh, no, weekday. Weekday, dude. The OG sir was, wait, 40 years ago? Oh. I feel like I heard something about it more recently. Maybe there was like a spin-off, you know? Maybe there was an OJ, the OJ. I hope he's not involved. Maybe the OG one was 40 years ago. Maybe there was like an imitation one a couple of years ago. Maybe it's just like, for whatever reason, it came back in. Oh, I'm frozen. Peak Coke, that is true, that is true. Yeah, I did hear about the thing about Mike Tyson wanting to fight a gorilla. Gorilla, again, wouldn't want to fuck with a gorilla. And again, I don't know what his plan for that would have been. Well, his plan was probably to punch it, but like, no. And there's also particularly, like, I know that he was doing a lot of coke and was very much off his head at the time. But it's also strange to me that he would want to do that, because he loves animals. So there's the whole thing with him with his pigeons. You know, it seems weird to me that someone would want to fight an animal. Because it's not like they get any choice. It's not like they get to be like, yeah, I want to take it on this guy. Mm.
You found them. No easy.
Okay, what resist? So I'm lowest on cold and lightning. Let's do this last ID, and I think we're going to end here. It's a nice 1 hour 30. Gorilla weighs between 100 and 270. That's a big range. But yeah, 270. Woo-hoo-hoo. That's oof. Ouch. Ouch.
You're right.
Let's do a little vendorinis. But if you've missed any of... Oh, that's pretty good. There's a lot of fairs. We'll keep that. If you've missed any of today's episode, it will be uploaded in full on YouTube. If you're currently watching this on YouTube, I'd like to thank you for your patronage. I suppose I do have a Patreon if you want to support that in any way. But I hope you're all doing well. I hope you all have a wonderful day, morning, afternoon, whatever. I currently have a Twitter. I have a Twitter. I do tweet stuff to every stream. I also tweet and I record out a YouTube video. I do apologize that my content is very, like, all over the place in terms of scheduling. We are very, very busy with IRL, caring after aging family, unfortunately, and then just, you know, managing life and trying to pay bills. But, you know, we're fitting in time where we can. But yes, hope you're all well, and I will see you all soon. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, nighttime, whatever time zone you're in the world. But yes, I'm Tarke. Have a good day. Bye-bye.